Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I've got on the screen there a poster announcing a new party for Chamisa, the new Zimbabwe Movement. I'll make the announcement with a caution that this may not well be genuine. But I think that is another matter. What matters here is that it is just a matter of time before Chamisa launches another party. In January 2024, he retired, he abandoned CCC, which he had founded a year or two earlier, and announced that he was retiring from politics. I think most people have warned that that was just a convenient excuse for him not to address the number of questions of people who were asking him to account for his blatant lie that he had plugged the vote rigging loopholes to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections. And so that was a quick exit for him, a bolt hole, claiming that he had retired from politics. We should not be surprised to see him come back. And worse still, for the 2 million to be conned to believe him and this next lie that whatever new party he comes up with will win the elections because he has got another strategy of stopping Zanu PF rigging elections. Welcome to you, Benjamin.
Good day to you and good day to our viewers. Thank you for joining us. I mean, it was a matter of time, and still, like you said, it's still in the rumor stage. It's a matter of time. I don't believe this whole sabbatical, move. I think, it is just to buy time, and to avoid accountability, like you said. A lot of things were promised and nothing was fulfilled. If I say very little was fulfilled, I'll be lying. Nothing was fulfilled. One good example was, we are going to win big the elections. And in fact, in heaven, cabinet, has already been set. So once God is involved, no man can put asunder, if I may say, which was obviously a lie, because Zanu PF went on and rigged those elections, and here we are today, no better than what we were yesterday, So it's just a matter of time. He is planning, for the situation to simmer down and to look for the most opportune time. I mean, Zimbabwe is, restless, and unfortunately, in our, trying to find a solution, we show our desperation, and guys like Chamisa are, by the terraces, waiting just to pounce when that opportune time presents itself. He didn't go away. He's there. He's watching, and he's waiting for his chance to pounce and convince. Many people will be convinced, no doubt, and the cycle continues, unfortunately.
Well, here is a video clip of him actually talking about he was forming a cabinet.
Makorokoto Zimbabwe nokuti hakuna munhu anomira kana denga raronga plan. Denga raronga plan, denga harifoiri. Plan yaMwari haifoiri. Ini ndatanga kugadzira cabinet. There is no way we are not going to form a new cabinet. There is no way we are not going to have a celebration. There is no way we are not going to have an inauguration. Let's start preparing for our inauguration. Let's start preparing for our celebration.
Because that was a lie. I think what one has got to look at here is that why is it that millions, in this particular instance, 2 million Zimbabweans were conned by Chamisa in 2023 to believe that he had plugged all the vote-rigging loopholes and Triple C was going to win big. Why was it that 2 million readily believed him? When 5 years earlier, 2018, he had told them the same idiotic lie. This case, it was MDC alliance, stringent measures to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections. And yet, Zanu PF went on to blatantly rig the 2018 elections, and as we know, the 2023 elections. Why is it that these 2 million who voted for him, but I think there will be probably an equal number of Zimbabweans in the diaspora who believed Chamisa. They didn't go home to vote, but if they had been given the chance to vote, they would have voted for Chamisa because they believed the lie. Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Zimbabweans have been participating in these flawed elections for the last 45 years, believing that the opposition will finally win. Why is it that people have been so gullible that they've been easily conned to believe such idiotic lies? That is a question that we cannot avoid as a nation asking ourselves. This is insanity at a national level. We have to deal with it, or the country will never get out of this economic and political mess we find ourselves in. I repeat, Chamisa said he retired in 2024, but only to avoid being held to account for his lies. And very soon, it's a matter of time, he will be announcing his comeback. And the millions of Zimbabweans who believed him in the past will believe him again. And they will go ahead and participate in flawed elections, only to give Zanu PF political legitimacy and perpetuate the nation's suffering. This is the insanity we are facing and we are talking about. Ben.
To answer your question, why is it that, Zimbabweans are so gullible that they easily get conned, I mean, we got to look at it this way. Zimbabweans are desperate for change. And basically, they would listen to anybody that offers some form of relief. I mean, we can talk about Chamisa. ED did the same. Mnangagwa did the same when he ousted, Mugabe. All he just had to say was, Zimbabwe is open for business. And behold, everybody was singing Mdara Achauya. You have characters like Nyokoya Mabonu who just, said a few words very shallow without any meaning and without any substance to, and evidence to support his claims. And everybody was saying, let us rally behind them. Even though the evidence was clear within the statements, what their mission was. So our desperation stinks so much that manipulators can smell it from a mile away. And obviously, they will take advantage of that and take advantage of our desperation and, forward their mission. So I think we really have a problem there to say, in our desperation, we have kind of lost our heads. That even, the very educated or the well-learned are easily conned by the idiots. And when I say idiot, I'm not insulting. It's part and parcel of a community of people in society. This is where our problem lies. We are not thinking through our situation, and we're not looking for the most appropriate course of action. Although I would want to say the solution to Zimbabwe's problem has been given, but I have since, I think that we as Zimbabweans, we do not want the solution that was given, and we want our solution. And that same solution that we want has kept us in this mess for over 45 years. And unless we change and mend our ways and accept our failure, we are bound to keep on repeating the same mistakes until the donkeys come home, unfortunately.
Well, it is true that people are desperate. But in this particular case, one cannot deny that 45 years is a long time for people to realize that they are not solving the problem. As is clearly shown in this cartoon, the opposition leaders were elected to implement the democratic reforms to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections. Chamisa and company have been telling people that they've stopped Zanu PF rigging the elections and the people should participate in the election process when they know that they've not done so. You can't keep on accepting an idiotic lie again and again. 45 years is a long time. And I think that point must be made, and emphatically. People like Nelson Chamisa will never stop spreading that lie. It pays them. In the script that was showing there at the bottom there, the opposition have been participating in flawed elections out of. And they have benefited from it. And so for them, the motivation to stop is not there. The motivation is actually to keep on participating because they get a share of the spoils of power. The challenge is for the ordinary people to realize that the opposition are no longer representing the ordinary people. They are no longer fighting in the people's corner. Zimbabwe's MDC, Triple C opposition leaders have been Zanu PF Team B for a long time. This is why they failed to implement even one token reform, and they've been participating in flawed elections, knowing fully well that doing so will give Zanu PF legitimacy and perpetuate the suffering of the ordinary people. The challenge is for the millions of ordinary Zimbabweans to wake up to the reality that MDC, Triple C, leaders like Nelson Chamisa are no longer fighting in their corner. It is not rocket science to understand and appreciate that. And as long as people fail to comprehend that fact, we will remain stuck in this situation. Thank you very much. Ben, do you want to give your closing remarks?
Yes, in closing, I think you did justice there by mentioning the fact that the moment that we fail to think and think for ourselves, we are bound to be manipulated. And if we are being manipulated and we still do not see it, we are bound to continue doing the same thing over and over again. And this is why it has taken us 45 years and we haven't even made a single step in terms of progress to get ourselves out of this mess. The solution is given. It is just up to us to accept it and to strategize and to find competent people that will lead us out of this mess. The likes of Chamisa, these are con men, as with the evidence, with the videos that we have shown numerous times of him blatantly lying on every turn to say this is going to happen, this is what we are going to do, all lies. But funny enough, some people will continue saying this is the way forward, this is the best foot forward. This is why we are in this mess. Thank you.
My closing remarks is to repeat what I've said here, that the opposition MDC Triple C are Zanu PF Team B in all but name. They've been playing to give Zanu PF legitimacy, playing for Zanu PF to win, and in return, they have received a few gravy train seats. That is the reality. And it is amazing, disappointing, that many Zimbabweans, even now, after 45 years of rigged elections, they failed to open their eyes to see that for themselves. It is not rocket science. MDC Triple C have failed to implement even one token reform to stop Zanu PF rigging elections in 25 years. How that is possible, unless the opposition are no longer representing the people. How anyone can fail to see that beggars belief. Thank you very much.